instinct tells me my entire life has been some kind of experiment, and tonight I'm going to find out why my own family has been lying to me since the day I was born. I sat there frozen, my hands trembling as I stared at the text. The photo showed my silver Honda Civic from above, my silhouette visible through the windshield. My heart pounded so hard I could hear it in my ears. I looked up through my windshield, scanning the buildings around me. Nothing. No one visible in any windows. No drones overhead. No obvious vantage points. But someone was watching. Someone who knew exactly what I was doing. My phone buzzed again. Another unknown number. This time just 2 words. Drive home. I threw my phone onto the passenger seat and started the engine. My hands shook as I gripped the steering wheel. The 15-minute drive to my apartment felt like hours. Every car behind me could be following. Every pedestrian with a phone could be photographing me. At a red light, I caught myself checking the rearview mirror obsessively. A black sedan had been behind me for 3 blocks. When I turned right, it turned right. When I switched lanes, it switched lanes. My chest tightened. I made a sudden left turn without signaling. The sedan continued straight. Just paranoia. Or maybe they wanted me to think that. By the time I pulled into my apartment building's garage, sweat had soaked through my shirt. I grabbed my phone and the evidence folder from my car, then practically ran to the elevator. The security camera in the corner seemed to track my movement. Had it always done that? Inside my apartment, I deadbolted the door and pulled the curtains closed. The photo album still sat on my kitchen counter where I'd left it after showing my parents. I flipped through it again, my stomach churning. Baby pictures. First day of school. Playing in the park at age 7. My 13th birthday party. High school graduation. College acceptance letter in my hands. First date with Tom. Rachel's wedding. Last week's lunch with coworkers. My entire life, documented by strangers. I paced my living room, checking my phone every few seconds. Tom still hadn't responded to my calls or texts. That wasn't like him. We'd been together 2 years, lived together for 6 months. Even when he thought I was being paranoid about Marcus, he'd never ignored me completely. A knock at my door made me jump. 3 quick raps. I crept to the peephole. Rachel stood in the hallway, still in her work clothes. Her usually perfect hair was disheveled, like she'd been running her fingers through it. The drive from Boston should have taken 3 hours. She'd made it in 2. I opened the door and she immediately pulled me into a hug. Her arms squeezed me so tight I could barely breathe. When she finally let go, her eyes were red-rimmed. She walked past me into the apartment without saying a word, then stopped at the kitchen counter when she saw the album. Her hand hovered over it, then pulled back like it might burn her. How long have you known? I asked. Rachel's shoulders sagged. She turned to face me, and for the first time in years, my confident, successful lawyer sister looked completely lost. She opened her mouth, closed it, then shook her head. Mom and Dad will explain everything. They're on their way. No. I stepped between her and the door. You tell me. How long have you known someone was stalking me? It's not stalking, she whispered. Then what is it? Why does some stranger have photos of me sleeping? Why has he been following me since I was 15? Since you were born, Rachel corrected, then immediately pressed her hand over her mouth. The room spun. I grabbed the back of a chair to steady myself. What? Rachel sank onto my couch, her head in her hands. I've wanted to tell you so many times, especially after the wedding, when you started noticing. But I couldn't. I promised. Promised who? Everyone. Mom, Dad, Grandma Evelyn before she died. It was supposed to protect you. To protect all of us. Protect me from what? Another knock interrupted us. This time I recognized my parents' voices through the door. Mom called my name softly, the way she used to when I was sick as a child. I let them in. Dad carried a manila folder thick with documents. Mom clutched her purse like a lifeline. They both looked older than they had this morning, aged by whatever secret they'd been carrying. We sat in my living room, my parents on the couch with Rachel, me in the armchair across from them. The photo album lay on the coffee table between us like evidence in a trial. Dad cleared his throat. 28 years ago, your grandmother Evelyn came to us with a proposition. David, start from the beginning, Mom interrupted. She needs to understand why we agreed to it. Dad nodded. Your mother and I were drowning in debt. Medical bills from Rachel's birth complications, student loans, a mortgage we couldn't afford. We were 3 months from losing the house. I'd never known they'd